Gentlemen, if you've started to worry about what's happening with your prostate, I want you to know your worry is reasonable and that you're not alone. There's a simple, low-cost daily habit that's backed by research, and it involves two spices you probably already have in your kitchen right now. Prepared in a very specific way, these two ingredients can offer your prostate the kind of support most men never hear about. This is a topic a lot of videos either overhype or skip over completely, and I'm not going to do either. I want to walk you through what the research actually says with honesty about what we know and what we don't. I know this is a private concern, something you might not feel comfortable discussing even with your doctor. And I want you to feel like you're getting information you can genuinely use and trust. If this topic matters to you, hitting the like button now. It helps other men find this information. Men who might be searching for exactly this kind of honest, practical guidance. And if you've noticed changes in your nighttime bathroom trips over the years, let me know in the comments. Sometimes just knowing you're not alone makes a real difference. There's a piece of this that almost nobody explains clearly. When you think about why you're waking up at night to urinate, you probably think it's simply because your prostate is larger than it used to be, and that's part of it. But for many men, there's something else going on, something that almost nobody talks about in these terms. Behind that enlargement, in a significant number of cases, is a slow, silent, inflammatory process that's been running for years. Researchers have found that roughly 40% of men with benign prostatic enlargement show clear signs of chronic inflammation when prostate tissue is examined, and men with that inflammation tend to have more severe symptoms and a higher risk of their condition progressing over time. The biological pathway involves two signals you don't need to memorize but that are worth understanding. One is called COX2 and the other is called kappa. Think of them as switches that, when flipped on by inflammation, tell the prostate cells to keep growing, keep swelling, and keep producing the kind of environment that makes urinary symptoms worse. What makes this relevant to you is that certain compounds found in everyday plants have been studied for their ability to turn those switches back down. And two of the most interesting sources are spices you probably haven't thought about in years. Let's start with bay leaf. The scientific name is Laurus nobilis, and its leaves contain a group of compounds that include something called linalool and a class of antioxidants known as catechins. Catechins are the same family of antioxidants that have been studied extensively in green tea for their potential role in supporting prostate health. Research published in the journal Food and Function confirmed that bay leaves contain significant levels of these catechins, including one called epicatechin. Clove, on the other hand, is in a category of its own when it comes to anti-inflammatory potential. Cloves contain a compound called eugenol, and eugenol has been one of the most studied natural anti-inflammatory agents in the entire spice world. It has demonstrated consistent ability to suppress both of those inflammatory signals I mentioned, COX2 and NF-kappa B, across dozens of laboratory studies. What's particularly interesting is that a 2025 study published in the journal The Prostate looked specifically at eugenol in the context of benign prostatic enlargement using an animal model. The researchers found that eugenol helped reduce prostate weight and improve the tissue structure by targeting inflammatory and oxidative pathways. When you put these two spices together, bay leaf with its catechins, and linalool, and clove with its eugenol, you get overlapping support that addresses both the oxidative stress and the inflammatory signaling that can make nocturia worse. It's not that either spice is a miracle. It's that, together, they're targeting different parts of the same problem. And what's interesting is that when people start applying this in real life, the patterns they notice often line up with what the research suggests. A patient in his late 50s had been getting up twice every night for more than a year. He wasn't in severe pain, but the sleep disruption was wearing him down, and by his own account, he'd reached the point where he was willing to try something simple just to see if it made any difference. He started making a morning tea from whole bay leaves and whole cloves, simmered for about 15 minutes, and he drank it before breakfast. After about 3 weeks, he noticed the nighttime waking had dropped, sometimes to once, sometimes not at all. What happened to him lines up with what the research on these compounds suggests about inflammation and urinary function, and he's not the only one who's noticed a shift. Here's what most people who try this get wrong, and it's the reason a lot of them see no benefit at all. If you take a bay leaf, drop it in boiling water for 2 minutes and drink it, you're getting almost none of the active compounds that matter for your prostate. The eugenol in cloves and the linalool in bay leaves are both volatile and fat-soluble, which means they don't release quickly into water the way a water-soluble vitamin would. Using ground clove powder instead of whole cloves makes this even worse because the eugenol starts oxidizing the moment the powder is exposed to air, losing potency before it even reaches the water. A quick steep simply doesn't extract these compounds in meaningful amounts. This is why preparation isn't just a nice detail. It's the difference between a habit that might actually support your prostate and a habit that just gives you a mildly flavored cup of warm water. What you need is simple: 3 to 4 whole dried bay leaves, not ground, and 3 to 4 whole cloves, not clove powder. Start with 2 cups of water, about 16 ounces, and bring it to a boil on your stove. Once it's boiling, reduce the heat to a gentle simmer and add the bay leaves and whole cloves. Now this is the part that makes the difference. Let this simmer on low heat for a minimum of 10 to 15 minutes, not a quick boil, but a slow, gentle simmer that draws out the oil-soluble compounds properly. After 15 minutes, remove it from the heat and let it sit covered for another 5 minutes. This resting period matters because it allows the volatile aromatic compounds that rose with the steam to partially reabsorb back into the liquid instead of evaporating completely. Then strain it and drink it warm. The ideal time to consume this is in the morning, about 15 to 20 minutes before your first meal. This timing gives the anti-inflammatory compounds a chance to be circulating in your system when you're active and eating, which is when inflammation can spike. Some men prefer a second cup in the evening, about an hour before bed, especially if nighttime waking is their primary concern. As you settle into the habit, start noticing how many times you get up at night and whether your stream feels different. The evening cup gives you those same compounds working overnight. Plus, the linalool's calming properties may help your body shift into a more relaxed state before sleep. Both timing windows have real value: morning for daytime urinary comfort, evening for sleep and nocturia support. Now, if you're taking alpha blockers, the kind of medication often prescribed for prostate symptoms, drugs like tamsulosin, you need to speak with your doctor before adding concentrated clove tea to your routine. Eugenol has mild blood-thinning properties, and it can interact with how your body processes certain medications. If you're taking a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor, such as finasteride or dutasteride, the same caution applies. These are prescription medications that affect your prostate at a hormonal level, and adding concentrated herbal preparations on top of them without medical guidance is not safe practice. If you're on blood thinners of any kind, including warfarin or even daily aspirin, please have that conversation with your doctor before starting. And if you have an elevated PSA that's currently being investigated, or if you're under active surveillance for prostate cancer, do not add this or any concentrated herbal preparation to your routine without speaking directly to your urologist. This tea is not a replacement for a digital rectal exam. It's not a replacement for a PSA test, and it's not a replacement for professional medical care. It is a supportive daily habit that fits alongside the care you're already receiving, but only if your doctor agrees. There's one more aspect of this combination that I want to touch on because it connects directly to the nighttime waking that brought you here. The linalool in bay leaves is also one of the primary compounds responsible for lavender's calming effects. Research has shown that linalool can enhance the activity of GABA, a neurotransmitter that helps quiet the nervous system and prepare the body for sleep. What's particularly interesting is that a recent study found that linalool also reduced bladder overactivity by blocking certain inflammatory and muscle contraction signals. Linalool helps calm the nervous system and also directly influences the smooth muscle and inflammatory environment around the bladder. If you drink this tea an hour before bed in a dimly lit room, away from your phone, you're doing 3 things at once. You're giving your body a set of anti-inflammatory compounds that work overnight while you rest. You're engaging in a warm, calming ritual that signals to your brain that it's time to wind down. And you're consuming a compound that has been studied for both its relaxing and its bladder calming properties. That combination alone, warmth, ritual, and calming aromatics, is worth the 10 minutes it takes to prepare. Of course, none of this matters if the spices in your drawer have lost their potency. So let me talk briefly about what to look for. Not all dried bay leaves are the same species. Laurus nobilis is the true bay laurel associated with the research, while California bay leaves are much more pungent and are best avoided for this preparation. For cloves, freshness is everything. Whole cloves should be dark brown, firm, and intensely aromatic when you press one between your fingers. If they barely smell like anything, the eugenol has largely degraded. Those old cloves sitting in the back of your spice drawer for 3 years are not going to give you the same benefit as fresh ones. If possible, buy whole cloves from a store with high product turnover or from a specialty spice retailer. The difference in aroma between fresh and stale cloves is immediately obvious. That aroma is your most reliable indicator of potency. Monday through Friday, make the tea with 3 bay leaves and 3 cloves, simmered for 15 minutes, strained, and drunk warm before breakfast. As you settle into the routine, pay attention to how many times you're getting up at night and whether your stream feels stronger. On the weekends, give your body a 2-day break, which helps prevent your system from becoming overly accustomed to the compounds. If you find the flavor too strong and it's earthy and slightly spicy with that deep clove warmth, you can add a small slice of fresh ginger root or a piece of cinnamon stick to the simmer. Both additions are compatible and bring their own beneficial compounds to the preparation. A small drizzle of raw honey after straining also works well, but don't add regular sugar. It directly counteracts the anti-inflammatory benefit you're pursuing. Gentlemen, bay leaves and cloves are not replacements for medication or for professional medical care. What they are is a deeply undervalued part of the conversation about using whole foods to support your body as you age. The relationship between plant compounds and human health isn't some fringe theory. It's the very foundation of how modern drugs are discovered and developed. Many of the medications prescribed today can trace their origins back to a compound first isolated from a leaf, a root, or a seed. Eugenol is actively studied by pharmaceutical researchers right now. Catechins have been the subject of thousands of peer-reviewed papers. Using whole foods that contain these compounds intelligently, regularly, in appropriate amounts as part of a broader healthy lifestyle is simply smart nutrition. And the fact that it costs almost nothing, requires no prescription, no supplement, and no dramatic life overhaul, that's why I keep making videos like this one. Now, I genuinely want to hear from you. Have you ever used bay leaves or cloves in any way beyond cooking? Have you noticed changes in your nighttime bathroom trips over the years, or found something simple that actually helped? Tell me in the comments. Your honest experience might be exactly what another man watching this needs to hear today. If this video gave you something real, something that you can actually use to support your prostate and perhaps get a better night's sleep, hit the like button. It helps this kind of honest, practical content reach more men who genuinely need it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Every week, I bring you information like this based on real research presented with total honesty about things you can actually use in your everyday life.